Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. What are you doing up at this time in the morning? Well, there's actually a handful of minutes left on February 10th, 2026, and very soon it will be February 11th, 2026. Thanks for joining me and tuning into this live tarot throw. We have a few things set up for you. We're going to start off with 5 cards for fun based on some wisdom shared by Breakaway Ray's Italian grandparents. Then we have a little presentation, a little lesson on interplanetary sociology. And I'm going to refer everyone to our description, which is, you'll see it in the description. And then finally, we'll have tarot for the audience. I suspect that'll be in about 35 minutes in case you have to monitor your time. And if you're tuning in live and you'd like a reading, please check the chat for instructions. Type in all capital letters, tarot please, so that in about a half an hour I can check and see who is requesting a reading and I can spot your request right away. All right, but you know what? The tarot world is standing by and we got 5 cards for fun. Let's not go to the tarot table just yet. Let's share some wisdom from my Italian grandparents. Specifically, I'm thinking of my Italian grandmother, the one that was born in Italy, came over on the boat, and she was the feature of my show a couple of days ago. Something this particular grandmother said a lot. I mean, the other one said it as well. That is the picture of my other grandmother right there. Anyway, my grandmother always used to say, God helps those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. So for those people who like tuning in to StarCard Podcast to get inspired and pumped up, okay, that's where we start. God helps those who help themselves. It falls right in line with that law of karma. Remember, we studied the 12 laws of karma together. That says, things change because you act. You have to take action if you want things to change. So God helps. And also, by the way, I was listening to someone else on the internet, and she was explaining that, the universe provides, and maybe if you are like I am, in between jobs, in between incomes, I hope I'm in between incomes, because right now I only see the one bookend of not having an income. But what I'm trying to get at, now I've lost my train of thought here. Let's try it again. Okay, so yeah. The universe has taken away the income that I had because they want to provide income and in a different form with a different energy. So may even open me up to a great deal of abundance, because not a lot of people, in the Western Hemisphere in the United States even consider that possibility. The only thing we really know is we got to work hard. We got to spend a lot of time. And, we'll be lucky if we can get, some days off during the year and enjoy ourselves on vacation. That's a very rough life. That's a very hard thing to do. Barely gives us a chance to explore our consciousness and study our lives and find out what's going on. Wow, I was saying all that. Hey, everybody, God helps those who help themselves. The universe is not supporting any slob. So get off the couch and make a plan and do something. I'm going to repeat now what I learned from a guy named Aaron Dowdy. Aaron D. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's still making videos on YouTube. And he was like one of the first guys on YouTube I ever listened to. And he said, you know what? If you want to be, a podcaster, you want to be on YouTube, post a video every day. And that's what he did. I'm not posting every day, but I get the idea, because like the picture of my garden wall from a couple of shows ago, it's one block at a time. But at the moment, as of this date, February 11th, are we there yet? Not quite. February 10th, 2026, we have 190 videos up at StarCard Podcast. So check out all the playlists. We'll be talking about those in a little while. God helps those who help themselves. That is the theme I'm inviting the tarot world to share with us. We're going to throw 5 cards for fun on the theme. God helps those who help themselves. Let's go to the tarot cam. Whoa, gotta watch my thumbprint there. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's 5 cards for fun. I know the tarot world is standing by. God helps those who help themselves. Get up because the garden is not going to weed itself. Those plants need your help. It's like living on a farm. You have to be pumped up and ready to go every day. The animals need your help, and the plants need your help too. Plants have consciousness. God helps those who help themselves. All right, Tarot World, 5 cards for fun. I've got to do a better job of shuffling. Wait, there's 4 there. Okay, there's 4. And then, is there one more just sticking out? I'm going to just grab this one. There we go. 5 cards for fun. It's all for fun. It's all for entertainment purposes only. I want to adjust my light, make sure I like it. I broke my other lamp over here. This is going to be interesting. Here we go. 5 cards for fun. God helps those who help themselves. First up, you had the 5 of Wands. It's the same old song and dance all the time, whether it be, the grind at work or the grind with the family. The Ace of Swords. Did I just pull it upside down? What's going on? Okay. The Ace of Swords. That's the truth. Wow. The 5 of Pentacles. It's feeling pretty rough out there. Is this going to be fun or inspirational or positive? I got my fingers crossed. Wow. The 2 of Swords indicates a crossroads. And makes me think of someone who doesn't know which way to go. Like you're between the Scylla and Charybdis. There are 2 or more avenues that you could go down, but it's hard to tell which one is the right one to go on. I don't have all the information. I could like dream about it. Maybe the moon could tell me what I need to pay attention to. So here we go. 5 cards for fun. The universe will provide. God helps those who help themselves. We go through the same song and dance all the time, but we have to have faith that we're being provided for. Yeah, but it keeps on going. And we don't always see, what we're supposed to do. But remember, we got the truth on our side. The universe knows. We don't have to know. All right, come on. 5 cards for fun. What's this fun 50? Hey, it's the Fool. It's a new adventure. Here's something else my grandmother used to say. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. How about that? God helps those who help themselves. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. The only way I could do that better is if I try to do an impression of my grandma when I heard those. See, is that today's the first day of the rest of your life? God helps those who help themselves. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. That wasn't quite excellent. I don't practice doing my grandma. All right. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. As usual, you surprise and delight me with your lessons. Here we go. I want to thank everyone in the chat for tuning in. All right. Let me set these aside and we're going to come upstairs. So I'm going to offer a programming note. I got my fingers crossed because I got my speech all written and I'm getting all pumped up that Saturday, Valentine's Day, I'm going to make a guest appearance on Rob Khalil's Typical Skeptic podcast. Can't wait to throw tarot cards. It's always fun hanging out with Rob. So want to let those StarCard podcast viewers know I'm getting all pumped up. Mark your calendar. Okay. Probably going to happen. I'm 90% sure it's going to happen. Rob and I have already communicated on this. So I'm all excited. Valentine's Day. I'm going to play with that theme a little bit, everybody. I mean, if you've been tuning in for a long time, you're probably wondering, Breakaway Ray is probably not like a good match for Valentine's Day. This ought to be interesting. But, the tarot world always has good words to say, right? Good words of advice. So the next thing I want to say is that I got all the decks of cards right here. And for those that are live, I want to show you which decks are available so that you can include them in your request for a tarot reading in the second part of the show. So let me grab this tray of tarot decks. Oh, look, there's my notes. I make notes and I get going and I get to 3 pages. I'm like, that's enough. Okay. Now I got to figure out how to say all those things. Sorry about that. It's actually fun. I'm like teasing myself. It's like my favorite thing to do. Okay, so let's go downstairs and check out these cards. Yeah, this is different now with the light broken. All right, so we started off today with the Robinwood Tarot. That's a classic deck. If you're learning tarot, you need to know this one. And everyone's been watching for the last couple of months. I always start the show with the Robinwood Tarot, and now I've learned it. Today, my plan is to talk about the Mars Germans. So I'm going to use the Neon Tarot deck, which is right over here. Check that out. I picked this Neon deck, which reminds me of the 1980s. Look at that. It almost looks like you're looking at the Red Planet or from the Red Planet or something. How about that? Mars Germans. All right. So, oh yeah, check this out. I see that there's like 2 satellites there. And I know that the planet Mars has 2 satellites, Phobos and Deimos. They are irregularly shaped. And one of them's like not a natural satellite at all. Not getting into that right now, but nice to set the stage here with planet Mars, our brothers on another planet there. I've got the Lost Soul Tarot. I have the classic tarot based on the Rider-Waite imagery. That's the one with the words on it. And if you're learning tarot, this is the other style you have to know, the Rider-Waite. And if you get the one with the words on it, it's, you accelerate your learning. All right, so there's that one. But then there's also the 88 Gemstones, which uses the same Rider-Waite imagery and puts a little spin on it there. There's the 5 of Cups. Okay. This is actually everybody's name tag box, right? So I can keep track of everyone in the classroom. That's cute, Ray. Okay, Old Style Tarot. Lovely images. I've got the Ethereal Bloom Tarot right down here. That's got a lot of flowers. I've got the Mermaid Tarot. I've got the Stained Glass Tarot. I've got the Craft cards, which are like these, but without the words. Definitely wonderful images. And then I'm not going to unbox them, everybody, but I've got the light foil and the dark foil. Again, the same imagery. Just letting everyone know, what you can choose from. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you have a good time today. I hope I cover everything. And I'm actually my batting average is pretty good. All right. Whoa. Sorry, everybody. All right. Hang on. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Well, this is awesome. I see that we have some people in the audience, and it equals the number of likes I already have for the video. I'm batting 100, and that's nice. Thanks, everybody. All right. So I'm checking my notes. Here we go. Yeah, we talked about my grandmother. God helps those who help themselves. Okay, so I'd like to explore that idea a little bit more. I'm going to rail a little bit against the sham that is capitalism. You may remember from some previous STARCARD podcasts, I paraphrased Martin Luther King Jr., who pointed out that it's Martin Luther King Jr. pointed out that it's socialism for the wealthy and it's cutthroat capitalism for the rest of us. It's an artificial way to create a competition and a conflict instead of channeling those energies in more harmonious ways. And, that takes up a lot of time that, we can't spend doing other things and improving our civilization. And I wanted to point that out because there's an abundance of everything. There's an abundance of everything for everyone. I mean, if you have any kind of spiritual bent, if I put that in my quotation marks, and you believe the universe provides, and that everyone on planet Earth can be provided for. Although I guess, in some people's perspectives, there's something to be admired for an individual who may have billions of dollars and, their children and descendants on to their great-great-great-grandchildren will never have to work. I mean, congratulations on creating a royal family. doesn't float everyone's boat. Not my cup of tea, not my perspective. Naturally, someone who used to work in the classroom would feel a little bit more to the contrary. On the other end of the spectrum, we're allowed to have a broad perspective, a broad spectrum of opinions on the society. But here we are at StarCard Podcast, and I'm the host, and I get to share my opinions. And here I go. Okay, so yeah, it's an artificial conflict. There's an abundance of everything for all of us, and apparently it's coagulating at the top. And we have not had, this is, I mean, you can look up this statistic. I've heard it many times. This is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. We like to hold on to those ideals that we had in the middle 20th century of the United States. You know, we're the nation on the hill. We're setting an example. It was our boom years or what have you. But you know, those days are really long gone when more than half of our country, more than half the people in the United States are living paycheck to paycheck. That doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't sound good at all. All right. I'm going to move on. Okay, what's next for me? Oh, okay. So I'm going to call everyone's attention now to the description. Some people are interested in the tip jar. Hey, you know what? I'm trying my best to figure it out. It's taking me some time. I got other things going on. But if you really are interested in a tip jar, you can go to the StarCard Podcast YouTube page and go to the description, and you'll see the Stripe button there, and you can actually adjust the amount to whatever you want to put in. I just like putting a lot of 8s there. You know, I'm sharing 8s with you, everybody. We're all in this together. We're all floating each other's boats here. I appreciate everyone tuning in and supporting me and giving me the practice to throw tarot cards and throw my thoughts together. You guys are, you know, here I am. I got a tie on, and my studio looks pretty good. Okay, but we're leaving out the part. Why is this guy up in the middle of the night like this? What's going on in his head? And he's going to talk about planet Mars in a minute. All right, hang on. Let me check my notes. Okay. All right. So back to the description. You know, every time I post that description in a StarCard Podcast video, there's always a video link to Penny Bradley over at the St. Olga channel. And then there's one to a lady named Penny Kelly. Now, I want everyone to be aware that I'm aware of both Pennies. I've talked about Penny Bradley many times. I want to focus on Penny Bradley, however, sorry. I want to focus on Penny Kelly, please. Penny Kelly, the link that I provided, she gives a lecture on how civilizations are designed. She has a connection to the Pleiadians. And, you know, that's kind of the thing that I'm talking about here at StarCard Podcast. We need to be cognizant of the civilization that we're in, and not just like comparing country to country, or, you know, urban to suburban, or region to different region. I'm talking planet to planet, because there's a bigger cosmic thing going on. All right. So I do invite you to check out that Penny Kelly video. And you know what? If you don't watch the whole thing, all right. But I would strongly recommend go to the very end, because she does a question and answer thing. And the very last question she fields, someone asks her to repeat the story, to tell the story about how you get to be a parent on the planet where she comes from in the Pleiades. And she talks about the accomplishments and the accreditation and the training you have to go through, the certain blessings that you have to have before you get to be a parent as a Pleiadian on her planet. If you're interested in learning more, like Penny Bradley, Penny Kelly also has her own YouTube channel. I know she has at least one. And both of those pennies that we're talking about have shown up on Rob's show, the Typical Skeptic podcast. You know, there's only so many characters you're allowed when you post a description. And I needed to take out the song Pennies from Heaven with Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. I needed to take that one out to fit today's description in there. So anyway, I hope that song is running through your head, everybody. Do check out those links. And then also, way down at the bottom of the description, I got some links to John Whitberg. So a lot of the information I'm going to be sharing today comes from what I've learned from listening to John Whitberg and reading 3.5 of his books, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes. That's right, I'm in the middle of volume 4, and he gave a nice snapshot of what's going on over on planet Mars. And so I'm going to chat with everyone about that, because I can't imagine that everybody's read or heard the book. You can get the book on audio. It's not hard to do, everybody. But I get all fired up when I think about the things that John Whitberg shares. And that's why there must be like 4 or 5 video links of his just in my description today. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's a playlist that John Whitberg has. John Whitberg appears at StarCard Podcast. Again, go to the playlist section. There's a John Whitberg playlist. And Julia Ankerhaven and we got to meet with John Whitberg. She already met him. It was my first time. I was so excited, dude. I was like a kid in a candy store. So anyway, we took our video together and I chopped it up into 5 episodes, and I'm still getting looks at it. Way to go, everybody. John Whitberg fans, curious psychic Liz Cross fans, checking out the John Whitberg playlist. I don't blame you. All right. So now we mentioned all that, and let me see if I'm ready to move on. Oh, okay. Here I go. All right, so I wrote this down, and I want to make sure I say it right. I want you now to think of your idea of the Pleiadians, because mine has evolved over the last 2 months, okay? So I have here Pleiadians. We tend to think of them as benevolent family members from the skies visiting to improve our civilization. Some beings come from the sky. They're space brothers, okay? They have fairer skin and fairer hair. They're taller, and then they share knowledge with us, and that knowledge, benefits us as a society, as a civilization. Maybe you've had that connotation of the Pleiadians before. We should also keep in mind that the Pleiadians refer to several species. So there's multiple planets involved. If indeed, this is all for entertainment purposes only. If indeed we're going to believe that there's people outside planet Earth, okay, and we might want to consider who these people are, called the Pleiadians, that keep showing up in our ancient histories and our ancient literature, right? Well, let's see. John Whitberg has proposed, and I want to share the story because it seems very interesting, and why not expand your mind a little bit? It's midnight in the middle of the week, so let's think about this. Okay, so there's a story, of course, that World War II didn't end the way we learned in school, and that Germans from Antarctica went out into space, and they already have a civilization out there, many called breakaway civilizations. And part of their ability to travel in space involves traveling through time. And so the idea is that these space Germans who go on what we call Valhalla missions, where they go harvest people who were, meeting their end in that timeline and give them a new life in the breakaway civilizations, right? They're doing them a favor, right? They're giving them a new life, take their body and their mind, wipe it clean, give them a blank slate, give them another chance on another planet. Okay, because they were going to die in that situation. So that's called a Valhalla mission. If you're listening to StarCard Podcast, you probably heard of that before. But then what about this? There's the idea that these Pleiadians are going back in time and they're upgrading civilization in the past. They're helping people in certain areas on planet Earth to give their society a boost. So this way, now, there's a connotation also, if you know about the secret space programs and you already know about, mind control and mind blanking and cloning and things like that. And maybe you've heard John Whitberg talk about his take on what happened to the city of Dresden during the bombing in World War II. Okay. And that's not the only time I've heard of something like this where an entire population was substituted. Okay. I think even in the interview on the playlist with John Whitberg Speaks, he even mentions that this kind of thing is still going on, that there are, according to negotiations that took place maybe in the middle of the 20th century, Earthlings are getting a free trip off planet, and they may not always be consenting. Well, okay, it's conscription. Or, you know what? Their technology is so far ahead of ours. Their perspective is so cosmic. I mean, you might as well look at surface planet Earth and the 8 billion people here with all of our magical talents that we don't even know about because nobody teaches us about this stuff, okay? You might as well just look at like a fish farm. They're just growing people down here, and it's good that they have like practice working with civilizations, technology, a little bit at a time, so that when we take them off planet, they fit right in. Maybe, is that the plan? It doesn't make the space Germans, the Pleiadians / if they are to be grouped together like this, it doesn't make them look that flattering. Okay, so why am I going to all the trouble to say all this? Well, I want to keep it interesting. So I was speaking with a psychic, not psychic Liz Cross, not this time. I've met with many psychics, but one psychic out of all of them, one psychic said that I was a Pleiadian, or I had something Pleiadian going on. And, a lot of people would say, Pleiadians, they share a healing energy, Breakaway Ray. They're helpers. They're the good guys, Pleiadians. And, when I recently learned John Whitberg's take on who Pleiadians could be, maybe there's a group of them that are space Germans jumping in around through space. I don't know if I'm really playing for the good guys. Am I? Am I playing for the good guys? Am I upgrading everybody so they know what's going on so that we can harvest them later? Is that what am I just like a plant and I don't even know it? It's too much to think about. I should let the tarot world help me sort it out. But wait, I'm not done with my thoughts. All right, let me check my notes. Yeah, great. Time-wise, I think I'm going to run about the same amount of time, everybody. All right, so I wanted to share, I don't know why, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find my train of thought in a minute here. But I wanted to share with everyone, I had the opportunity, I was so fortunate. It was either 85 or 86, either in 1985 or 1986, I happened to be in Moscow and Leningrad. It was part of a semester abroad program. And in fact, it was after the semester, we had an opportunity to take a trip to the Soviet Union. And that was pretty remarkable. I got to go behind the Iron Curtain. Yeah, of course it was expensive. It's not like I take vacations all the time. That's why I could tell you about a vacation, from 40 years ago and act like it just happened because, it's not getting mixed in with a whole bunch of other ones. So anyway, it was a worthwhile investment. And then while we were in Moscow, and then we traveled to Leningrad. I'm not sure which city we were in. I think it was back in Moscow. We attended a function called the Soviet American Friendship Committee. The Soviet American Friendship Committee. And we got to meet other college kids our age. Obviously, looking back now, these college kids were well prepared to interact with their American friends. And they were very good with their English. And they were certainly well educated. Like I say, they were in college, and they were clearly like well-disciplined readers as well as leaders. They had a broad knowledge of things, but they had their little angle, their little pro-Soviet angle, and can't blame them. But we weren't there to be political or anything. It was a great reminder that, all around the world, people are the same. Everybody just wants happiness for everybody. We don't want to fight anybody. We're not really here to have a contest of wills. Again, there's abundance. We need to find a way to share it all. I think we're going to end up finding a way to share it all, whether we like it or not. But anyway, let me check my notes. For some reason or other, that Soviet American Friendship Committee thing comes into play. I hope I can remember why. Oh, I think I figured out why. It has something to do with surface planet Earth and planet Mars. All right, so I was reading volume 4 of The Man with Periwinkle Eyes, and the main character, the protagonist, and that most of the story is told through his point of view. So even though I've only read it one time, I hope I get it all right. He talks about life on Mars. So they're exploring the backwaters of planet Mars, and they come across some pioneer colonies, frontier colonies, I should say. Right? They're working and living on planet Mars, and it sounds very similar to the stories we hear in school here in the United States about the frontiersmen who advanced across the continent, like in the era of the manifest destiny all the way from sea to shining sea there. I always mess that up. Anyway, so here's what I wrote. So here are some things that sound like things that we learned about frontiersmen and moving across the North American continent. That sounds like what they're doing up there on planet Mars. First of all, they travel by cart pulled by a beast of burden. They do have some mechanical devices, but there are carts pulled by a beast of burden. Okay. There are teams of hunters that go out to bring back meat for food and also to trade. Okay. Clothing is often made from the skins of these creatures. Okay. You can relate if you think about our idea of looking at people wearing buffalo skin, for example, here in the United States, or, North America before it was the United States. Okay. And interestingly, if I've got this right, like if you need metal, okay, you need metal because you're building some kind of contraption where you are, okay, you head over to Metal Town. It's another town on the frontier, and all the experts of metallurgy are over there, okay? And if you needed, food, okay, or, produce, well, there's another hamlet, another village, and they might even call it just like Food Town or Farmer Town. It's like your Saturday open market, your farmer's market town. And you can count on the food showing up in your town on a regular schedule. Now, let's remember, these are Germans, okay? So everything's going to be on schedule. And I want to say, yeah, everyone's waiting for the triangle to ring, for the dinner bell to ring, from what I can see in the story so far. All right. Now, the difference, here are some of the differences. There's a secret yet open I'm getting too excited. All right. There's on planet Mars. All right. I wish I could go back and edit all this, but I'm going to try one more time, everybody. Okay. On planet Mars, there is a secret yet openly understood conscription of adults. And thanks to mind control, here's how it works. So if you're on planet Mars and you live in one of these villages, one of these hamlets, and you're walking around wearing animal skins, okay, but then you become an adult, say like a 19 years old, okay, however the calendar works out there on planet Mars, you're an adult now. You can expect that you're going to be conscripted, you're going to be vanishing, okay, and then you're going to serve the armed surface, Mars Defense Force, perhaps, okay, on planet Mars. Everyone does their tour of duty. And an unusual facet of that is before they're done with you, okay, you get your mind blank. So you return to your village a couple years later, you have no idea what you just did, and you go back to your life. Okay, but that's the way it works. And how do these people know this? They're riding around in carts. They're wearing animal skins. People in their village, the best and the brightest, the young adults, they all get taken away. And for a couple of years, you don't see them until they come back and they have no idea what happened. Alien abduction? No way. It's a military abduction. So anyway, that's a little bit different than what we got. There's another understanding out there on in the breakaways about planet Earth. And in case you haven't heard this, I know we have a very well-educated group of listeners and viewers here at StarCard Podcast. But what does everyone think about planet Earth out there? Well, in order to make sure that no one has hope of escape, okay, the story has to be passed around that planet Earth was destroyed or made uninhabitable in the 1950s due to a cobalt bomb explosion. So, World War II had ended, so the story goes. World War II had ended, and even so, the Allies were secretly trying to mount another attack. And, obviously, Operation High Jump was supposed to be something like that. And the Antarctic Germans made quick Swiss cheese of the forces that Admiral Byrd brought down there. Didn't last very long. In any case, the people that were trying to overturn the Antarctic Germans came up with a cobalt bomb, but they did not know that a cobalt bomb reaction, you can't contain it. It's not like a nuclear explosion which just vaporize the city. Apparently, a cobalt bomb is a planet-wide thing. And that's why everybody out in the breakaways, or most people, don't know that we're down here, okay? And at the same time, they all think that planet Earth is not a place you can go. So they do a little amor fati, and they make the best that they can with what they got. All right, so let me see what I got going here. Yeah. Well, we did a little comparative sociology there, right? You know, they have frontiers people, even on planet Mars, just like we supposedly did in our past here in the United States, for example. Okay, how interesting. There's a lot of similarities. And if it's true and it happens on planet Mars, it could very well be happening on lots and lots of other planets that are getting seeded with populations, and they get a jump start to their history, and they become another fish farm, another outpost of human civilization. So what I want to do now is point out that here at StarCard Podcast, we have an advantage. We have an advantage over our brothers and sisters here on surface planet Earth and out there on planet Mars, because we know about both of them, and we can compare notes, and we can share our information. Whew, I'm glad I put all those thoughts together. So here we go, right on time. I'm going to invite the tarot world with the neon deck. I'm going to invite the tarot world to comment on life on planet Mars, life here on surface planet Earth, and life with Breakaway Ray at StarCard Podcast. Let's go downstairs. So I'm going to throw 3 piles of cards, one for each, one for this planet, one for that planet, and one for all of us on Planet StarCard Podcast. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's give these, you know what? I'm going to give these cards a shuffle, and these guys are going to blow all over the place. All right. Hey, I want to say thanks to the tarot world for making sure that I was up at this early hour to share these fun ideas to think about. We don't get enough media about planet Mars. We also don't get enough media about the continent of Africa. I'd like to have more information about the continent of Africa, but meanwhile, feels like I know more about planet Mars. Okay, say Tarot World, can you share your perspective on what we know here on surface planet Earth, planet Mars, and here at StarCard Podcast? Thanks, Tarot World. Planet Mars, planet Earth. Wouldn't it be funny if the star card showed up in that pile? I know, we all got our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. I'm still feeling inspired. I want to get my light right. Okay. First, well, you know what? Let's go with what we know first, right? How do they say? The devil that we know. Surface planet Earth. We got, it's a little bit dark. I'm going to have to move the light here. Ooh, the 2 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the 5 of Pentacles. Well, the 2 of Cups is, I'm going to read to you about the 2 of Cups, and then we'll talk about what the 2 of Cups also means to me. This is an interesting bunch of cards here. All right, let's read from the book on the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups, this is the attraction card. You are likely popular and sought after in many areas in your life. Things are going well. Your life is harmonious. There are partnerships, unity, and unconditional love in romantic relationships. You have mutual respect and appreciation in friendships and partnerships. Nurture these relationships. Well, you know what relationship I'm thinking about, everybody? This is the first card in the reading. It's the 2 of Cups. And this is like an announcement to Breakaway Ray that here comes a message from the spirit world. Just like we asked, can we have your perspective on these 3 subjects, please? Yeah, here comes the message Okay, we ask them directly. Here it comes. First, it's the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight of Pentacles. So I beg your pardon. It's the Knight of Cups, and that's the Knight in shining armor. And look at how ghostly both the equestrian and the horse look. Okay, so it's the Knight in shining armor. That's the spirit world. And I want to say that with the Five of Pentacles, there's a sense of abandonment and isolation and being left out. And that's where I perceive us here on surface planet Earth. So I think I agree with what I just interpreted the tarot world saying. Here comes a message right from the spirit world. You asked for my opinion. Okay. Well, we see also that you guys are left out, and we're here to help out and give you information. Like information about planet Mars? We have the Queen of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. The Five of Swords, is that right? Yeah, that's right. The Five of Swords is the winner-take-all guy. It represents abuse and conflict. And if you know anything about recent history on planet Mars, you know it's filled with that. Okay, there's a lot of conflict. I'm talking about the Black Terror, of course. Okay. What we want to remember, though, is that we have the Queen of Cups there and the Ace of Wands as well. I would like to read about the Queen of Cups. I think the message is that even though planet Mars, isn't this the one that we saw earlier? Again, with the red sky, just like planet. Oh, it was one like it. Okay. Anyway, looks like planet Mars, doesn't it? So there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of action going on planet Mars, but it's an opportunity, says the Queen of Cups, to explore comfort and expanded consciousness and a sense of fraternity with our fellow humans and other life forms on surface planet Earth. Because I should have said planet Mars rather. There's a lot of life on planet Mars, and it's good to know our neighbors and get acquainted with them. Okay. And we're going to make magic happen here at StarCard Podcast. Okay. But let's read about the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, emotional stability, femininity, love, and warmth surround you. There might be a mature female in your life who is supportive and caring towards you, or you might be a sensitive, caring, nurturing soul yourself, an empath or a good mother. You are intuitive in the flow, a daydreamer, a psychic, and a good listener. You know, you can communicate with people on planet Mars right now. I mean, if you are practicing remote viewing, I don't. Okay, or if you're practicing exploring your consciousness, you could say, you know what, before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to say, I want to meet a positive person who's ready to communicate with me here on surface planet Earth from planet Mars. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. And apparently, with all the veils coming down and the machine on the moon that projects the matrix breaking up or whatever, all this stuff is going to be much easier for us to work our magic. So anyway, planet Mars, we're learning to be more psychic. We're expanding our consciousness. We're going to make magic happen, and we're going to acknowledge that planet Mars has had a rough go of it. Okay, next up, what about us here at StarCard? What did we get? We got the Queen of Swords. She's the one that says you were right. Well, we also got the Ace of Swords. How about some more truth? Breakaway Ray. And here's the King of Wands, which says that's the big picture. I mean, I could talk about, I'm not patting myself on the back here. Look at the tarot world. The tarot world told us about planet Mars, the opportunity to expand our consciousness, our awareness of our next door neighbor. Okay. It talked about where we are on surface planet Earth. And then look at how it closes. This is its conclusion. It's a beautiful essay. You were right. That's the truth. That's the big picture. All right. Bravo, tarot world. Thank you very much. It's time for tarot for the audience. Let me give these cards a toss. Thank you very much, tarot world. Oh, wait, we have more than 5. Wish I had moved that one in time. All right, we're really raw down here at StarCard Podcast. It's a midnight show. Breakaway Ray's doing the best he can. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to shuffle these. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Tarot for the audience. I'm going to go through the chat now and say hi to people who are in the chat. Then I'm going to make sure I've got name tags for everybody. If you're new, I'm going to make a name tag for you. I want to say hi to Melissa in New Zealand. How exciting is this? I'm in California. You're in New Zealand. We're having a good time. Thanks a lot for joining me. Good morning. Missing time 420. Right on, Jason. Thanks for joining me. Let's see. Danny Hawk, thanks for joining me. That's great that you could be here. Spider Bite. Oh, that's great to see you, Spider Bite. Another friend from down under. We're all over the planet here at StarCard Podcast. Let's get your name tags out. So I have, for example, some schoolhouses. Everything's alphabetized, so I should be able to find people's name tags pretty quickly. Okay. Spider Bite. I don't know if you can see your name. There you are, Spider Bite. I also got a pile of Valentines. Very good. Here we go, Danny Hawk. Missing time 420. So like if I showed you that I have your name tag and you don't want a reading, you should like make a mention of it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to throw some cards for you. I'm going to check the chat to see if you have specific requests in a moment. Am I missing somebody? Oh, Melissa. Melissa, I think you had a schoolhouse. Yay, I got it. There you go, Melissa. All right. Fairy Tale Nahal. Hey, I know that one. Hi, Fairy Tale Nahal. Let me find your Valentine. There we go. Got it. Who am I missing? I don't know if I'm missing anyone, but there's plenty of time, everybody. If you want a reading, just drop a message in the chat. I'll find your name tag or I'll make you one. Yeah, very good, Ellum. I see you. It looks like you got two handles going. Is it the same person? Whoa. Okay, so anyway, I can't tell. I think it's the same person. Okay, very good. Anyway, let's get going. Let me get these other name tags set aside so I can start throwing some cards. Going down. So I see that Melissa has asked for one card. That's easy. I can do that. All right, so let's start with Melissa. Here we go, Melissa. Let's throw a card for you. Hey, Tarot World. The Earth is a big place. I know you got one special card for Melissa. Thanks for tuning in, Melissa. Here comes a card. Wow. It's the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands guy has the higher ground. He could take on all these challenges. He should feel confident. He's strategically placed to succeed. Here's what it says about the Seven of Wands: challenge, competition, protection, perseverance or perseverance. I don't know how everyone says it. Defense and maintaining control. Man, you got to see the look in this guy's eye. He's maintaining control. All right, there you go, Melissa. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. Next. So I'm going to throw for Elam. Let's see. So, and we'll go back to the Robin Hood deck. Hey, Tarot World. Elam is asking a particular question. I know you have like your special way of delivering a helpful message. I know you know what the question is, Tarot World. Can we share a helpful, reassuring message for LMAABB, please? Here we go. These cards for LMAABB. Yeah, we know what the question is. Here comes the message from the Tarot World. All right, let's give it a try. It's for entertainment purposes only. I mean, we're not going to base our actions on things some guy on the internet said, right? All right. We're going to follow our own instinct, our own intuition, starting with Ace of Cups. That talks about a new life, we'll just pause there. Let's see what the sentence looks like first. The Tower card, the Ace of Wands, and the Fool. Hey, you have a new life, LMAABB. Did some things crumble and fall apart? Yeah, it was probably for a good reason, because now you have an opportunity to make a whole bunch more magic. This is a new adventure for you, says the Fool. It's a brand new beginning. It's a real blessing. I mean, I would say, don't let any particular person run you ragged mentally. Give it a break, go make your magic somewhere else. Again, don't listen to what I have to say. Oh, well, here's more message from the Tarot World. Here's the Four of Pentacles. It says, prize what shines. And the Devil card says, let it go. If it shines and it's wonderful, that's what you want to prize. And if it ain't working anymore, it's time to let it go. I mean, I know you were more interested in what was going on in someone else's mind. And I asked for a positive, encouraging message. So I apologize if I guess I skewed your query a little bit. But I want to say it's still a good message. This looks like a golden opportunity. How hard is it for these particular cards to come out like that? It seems like it's a very specially designed message. Thanks for inviting me to read, LMAABB. We wish you and everyone in your life, a lot of happiness and a lot of luck. I'm going to give these a toss. Here we go. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. Thanks for the help. I'm going to pick up Danny Hawk now. And I see that Danny is remarking on the tree behind me. You know, my birthday is the same day as Jesus and Sir Isaac Newton. So I feel like in my time bubble, I'm allowed to leave a tree up. But the difference is I'm just going with the straight white lights. And during the holidays, I go with the colors. Everyone digs the tree, though. I get lots of compliments. Thank you very much, Danny. So cool. I'm going to keep the tree year round. Why not? So where am I? Oh, yeah, with Danny. We're taking care of Danny. Let's throw you some, why don't we throw you some ethereal bloom cards, Danny? Here we go. All right, you're welcome, LMAAD. I appreciate your feedback. These cards are for Danny. Pretty sure it's quite early where Danny is also. All right, let's have a fun, inspirational message for Danny, please. Ooh, wow, that card just popped out. Here we go, Danny. These cards are for Danny. Oh, really? All right, I'll go for it. Here we are. It's all for entertainment purposes only. First up, the Four of Wands, homecoming celebration. The Five of Cups, followed by disappointment. I don't know if you're familiar with the book title, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. And I want to share with you, I think it was a movie in maybe the 1990s, and Charlie Sheen was in it. And I think Jerry Stiller's son was in it. Ben Stiller, is that his name? I don't know. It was a more movie. They were down in some kind of jungle. But anyway, so in the movie, they're sitting on a plane, I think, and the character played by Charlie Sheen, he was reading a book called Great Expectations, and someone asked him, you know, how you like the book? And he says, well, it's not everything I was hoping it would be, right? The literal meaning of Great Expectations. So it's like, hey, yo, we were really expecting to have a real great time, but I guess it fell short a little bit. I think I got really hung up on these two cards. Let's see what else is going on in this sentence. Wow, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune talks about good luck and bad luck. In my mind, it also talks about like timelines. Like it seems like it's bad luck or good luck, but you know, there's like a pivot, a big change in your life. And now the Hermit, we're kind of on our own. Let's throw these three cards. All right, I want to say I'm really happy about those three cards. So we had a great celebration, homecoming, didn't turn out exactly the way we wanted. And now we've done some soul searching and we're finding meaning in another way. And the Five of Wands says to me, you know, that we're still grinding it out day to day. We're keeping it going, says the Chariot card. And we're doing a good job of it because we can also, at the same time, the Three of Wands, we can also focus on expansion. You've got your mind in lots of places. You've got perspectives in all directions. All 300. The Three of Wands card, as it says, that is the card that says luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You might be pursuing a couple of different things, and they all have like end games, like a short range game, a mid range game, a long range game. Well done. And I wonder if you're like a chess player, or I don't even know why I want to say the game Go. Isn't that a game from China with the marbles? Hey, Danny, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope I didn't go off on a tangent. All right, let me give these a toss. I appreciate it so much that you tune in to StarCard. All right, next up. Well, I've got Missing Time 420, and then I've got Spider Bite. And if no one puts one in by the time I start with Spider Bite, we're going to close up shop. We just turned 1 hour. So anyway, we're doing good, everybody. So Jason, I'm going to throw the neon cards for you. We're going to pretend we're like in the dorm in college, and the black light posters are up on the wall, and we got the black light going. And then someone comes out of the bathroom with a giant apparatus with the water only in the bottom part, and the door is closed. The RA doesn't know anything about it. He wouldn't care anyway. Everyone's having a good time. It's the weekend in the dorm. All right, so let's throw some cards for Missing Time 420. Here we go. We'll throw those three right away for you, Jason. All right, these cards are for Jason. Missing Time 420. First up, it's the Two of Cups. Oh, wow. You have a really strong spiritual presence. I don't know what your mission is, but anyway, when it shows up at the beginning of the sentence, it's like, telephone call for Mr. 420. Will you accept the charges? Yes. Bring on the message. The Seven of Cups. There are so many opportunities. And if you look at the image, I wonder if I can get you better light on that. Cool. Yeah, the LED light works good on these neon cards. And if you think about it, there's like Jason sitting at the computer. He's like watching 7 shows at once. Okay. Then the 10 of Cups says it's a dream come true. I mean, like you're on your soul's path. You're fulfilling your mission. You're not going to, get upstairs and say, oh, I didn't get this done. You're doing it. You're getting it done. And then the 6 of Swords says, you've got the spirit world at your back. The spirit world is helping you move from rougher waters to calmer waters. There's a divine hand involved in your spirit's path. So, if you if you aren't smiling every 90 seconds, Jason, you should force yourself to smile, because these cards are saying everything's groovy. You couldn't be more aligned. All right, let's finish up here. The 5 of Cups. Come on, you gave us this alignment. Now you got the 5 of Cups here. Let's find out what the rest of the the Strength card. Okay, and the Wheel of Fortune. Nice. So I made it sound all glowy and cheery, right? But like anybody else, the 5 of Cups says, yeah, but you know what? There's some things that fall short. It's easy to spot the disappointments. And so I think the 2 cards over here, the Strength card and the Wheel of Fortune card, are encouraging you to remain strong. You're on your soul's path. The spirit world's got your back. You're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. That's the message I'm getting from these tarot cards, Jason. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hey, Danny, I see your message. I just want to say I appreciate it very much. And there's no hurry. I'm not going anywhere. But again, it's a thought that counts. So I already feel invigorated. I mean, let me know how much you care and appreciate what's going on here at StarCard. Finally, it's Spider Bite's turn. Here we go, Spider Bite. And I want to throw you some fun flowers from the Ethereal Bloom deck. Here we go. Wow, it was a great midnight show. Well, okay. Hey, Spider Bite, it's almost like I could stop there, right? The Ace of Wands, making magic all around the world with such power. Again, we're talking about our connection. For a long time, you've been following me on the internet from your hemisphere. So anyway, let's throw you some cards for real. These cards are for Spider Bite. I can't wait to play this recording and listen to the intro on my reading for Jason again. That was fun. Anyway, here we go. These cards are for Spider Bite. Crank up the Metallica, or anyway, here we go again for Spider Bite. These cards are for Spider Bite. Maybe we crank up the INXS. Pick an Australian band. These cards are for Spider Bite. Here we go, Spider Bite. Maybe I'll see you on Saturday night. Have a good Valentine's wherever you are, whatever you're doing. The 7 of Cups. So many opportunities. Wow, so many Valentines. Hey, remember the Valentine's parties in school where all the kids would put the Valentines in your bag? That was cool. The Knight of Cups. It's the knight in shining armor. The Queen of Wands. She's got the zest for life. She's courageous and determined. Boy, it totally sounds like spider bite so far. The Moon indicates intuition and mystery and illusion. There are okay, here comes a Valentine's theme reading, right? There are so many opportunities out there for you to find your knight in shining armor. So you might as well strut your stuff as if you are the Queen of Wands, because everyone's going to come a-courting, okay? And that's because of your powerful intuition. People are drawn to it. People are magnetized to it. All the guys want to bray toward your moon. Finally, we have the Six of Swords and the Six of Wands. 66. The Six of Swords says that you're being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters. You're using intuition to find your knight in shining armor. You know, this is another, I like how this is going now, because this is all about manifestation. You know, are you desirous of meeting a knight in shining armor? I don't know what your status is, Spider Bite. Okay, I'm not trying to interfere. Okay, but it seems to me that you can use your power of intuition and connect with the spirit world. And then guess what's going to happen? The Six of Wands shows up, and that's public recognition. You're going to find that knight in shining armor. Think about it, make it happen. Get to the vision board. Go on that dream quest. Okay, am I getting carried away? Thanks, Spider Bite. Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I got a whole bunch of likes. That's pretty cool. Wow, I feel like I'm on Instagram with all those likes. All right. I must be a little too early because we ran out of readings. So I want to thank all my friends for showing up and hanging out with me for the last hour. I hope everyone has a good day. We'll see you again real soon. All right. Thanks, everybody.